Bring in our first guest, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, the former U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine. A pleasure to have you, sir. Thank you. So,
good to be with you,
talks
Bianca.
about
Thanks.
talks. Are they happening, and if so, with whom?
Well, that's part of the problem right now, Bianca, is you've got a regime that's just basically been beyond decimated. And there was a previous National Security Advisor named Larry, who was one of the leaders. He was eliminated. He did something that was actually pretty smart. He took the Revolutionary Guards, and they've got like 32 sub-organizations, and he broke apart that. And so the Central Command and Control, who is the supreme leader, he broke it down to the individual Republican Guards, Revolutionary Guard organizations out there. So you really don't know, because we keep knocking them off. And I think that's important. So I think the negotiations that are out there, I don't know who we're negotiating with. You listen to the Iranians, and we're not negotiating with really anybody. Look, I think there's three parts to this. One is you get rid of the nuclear capability. That was done. You basically eliminate the enriched uranium, and I think they've done a pretty good job on that. The second part was taking apart their missile fleet, which was pretty good because it was the largest in the Middle East. But I think the third, and we don't talk about it, Netanyahu talks about it, I'm not sure we really talk about it, and that's to get rid of the theocratic government. Because as long as you've got a theocratic government in there, the hardliners, you're going to have a problem with them because they will rebuild into the future. And I would prefer we get rid of them. You can do it. It'll be hard. It's risk involved with it. But I think the possibility and potential to do that is important, and we should be able to do that.
You broke it down really well as we kind of look at the landscape here. We're entering week 4. This was not a quick in, quick out. Obviously, President Trump, looking at the Strait of Hormuz, had floated today that there could be some type of deal. He also said where it would be, controlling shipping. Maybe there's a mutual, thing they can find together, Lieutenant General. But he did just say that they've agreed not to have a nuclear weapon. And that's sort of where this comes back to. And with your astute analysis on the regime, some say what Iran is really accomplishing here is the fact that they are able to wield such economic havoc with the Strait of Hormuz and using sort of what they've learned from Western warfare over decades to know that it is the economic pressure point that is going to hurt the West, the United States, that's our real vulnerability here. Speak to us about that and how some of the leaders here, they're willing to die. It's an ideology, and it's really about bringing down the global economies here, and that's the mission.
Well, I think there's a way to handle this, and I know we don't want to talk about boots on the ground, but I think there's two places that you can actually put boots on the ground. You can put up a Kellogg Island, which controls 80 to 90% of the oil exports, and we just take it. In 1988, Donald J. Trump on the New York Times interview said, take Kellogg Island. Smart move. Could have done it. The second is we need to open up the straits. In the Strait of Hormuz, you can do that by they've got 2 amphibious rescue groups of Marines heading the way towards the Strait of Hormuz, and go towards a place called Bandar Abbas, an area like that, and actually seize that so you can actually control the choke point. Because on the choke point to the north is Iran, to the south it's Oman. We kind of own the southern part. And when you look at about the strait, it's really just 2 shipping lanes, and they're only about 4 miles wide. But you have to worry about the sea skimming missiles, the shore-to-ship missiles that are out there. They put your troops at risk. But I think if you want to open that up, you can do it. It'll take some risks to do so.
Right.
And I think after you keep beating them up like Netanyahu wants to beat them up, you can do it. But it goes back to what I said earlier, is you really are reaching a point where you don't know who's really in control, because we've eliminated so many of the top leadership, which is good. And it solves the president's problem. But we don't know who the bad guys are right now to any great degree.